All right, what's up guys? Today is day 2 of SEO sales program and we're going to be talking about cold calls. So as you guys know, this is my bread and butter, and this is where, majority of the sales that I've gotten was generated through calling first. And I've been talking to some of you guys and it's a little interesting because what I realized is that the cold calling fear is real, right? Like sometimes I say it around, oh yeah, most people are scared to pick up the phone and call and stuff like that. And I kind of like think of it as a stat. I generally don't think of it like I'll actually talk to people who are genuinely very afraid and do not want to get on the phones. Well, when I'm talking to some of you guys, and you know who you are if you've talked to me today or yesterday, I see that, a lot of you guys are genuinely just do not really despise having ever to come across a point where you have to pick up a phone and call people. But I wanted to make this video, kind of show you guys an overview of everything that I'm picking up from you guys on these calls, as well as what I think that I would like to get across, and somebody who would be joining this course, right? What kind of mind frame and background I would give about this one topic, cold calling. And it goes something like this. So I'll start with this. Let's take a step back. There's generally 2 types of people when it comes to cold calls, right? The first person hasn't done it really that much. They maybe did some half-ass little cold calling and never, really give it some good volume. And they faced some rejection, just didn't have a good experience. They didn't like it, whatever. And then they moved away to other stuff, whatever, like cold email and stuff like that. Then there's another side who has done it, who can do it, who got some traction from it, but now is in a position where he just would rather not do it. These are 2 very different types of positions to be on, right? Because this person right here, who just can't get themselves to be on the phone, it will come back and bite them in the ass one way or the other. Let's say you have a whole system for cold email or direct mail or whatever you want to do to replace this pillar, which eventually, it's not that difficult to do, and you replace it, let's say. But then what? Let's say you're just sending out video audits, great. But some people are not going to close over the email. Some people are not going to respond. Some people might be really interested, then they stop responding. Are you going to be afraid to get on the phone and call them, follow up, hardcore, and do it multiple times, even after sometimes they say no, coming from different angles and get them to convince? You're going to miss out if you don't have this skill, right? For this guy right here, if he has a skill and he just rather not, he's in a much better position, because if he has the pillar down, then he can still use the skill that because he already became the person who can call and not afraid to do that. He can use his skill when it comes other points of the sales funnel to fill in the gaps. Right? So that's one thing I just wanted to say right off the bat, so you guys understand the dynamics of this entire thing. But having that said, let's get into the reality. We generally fear things that we haven't experienced with, right? So cold calling, you probably, a lot of you are scared because you tried it and it didn't really work. But if you look at a funnel, right? If you look at what I'm going to be showing with you guys, right? Where there's lead prospecting, cold calls, then there's video audit, the proper follow-ups, very important, proper follow-ups, and then a killer closing mechanism, right? The presentation, whatever you call it, the demo, but a point where they give you 30 minutes to an hour of their time, where you just take them in a sequence of thoughts until you ask for the business, right? The way you generally, for most of you, even if you tried cold calling, it's more than likely that you didn't have these things set in place, right? So cold calling is one of them. The other 4 things would be prospecting before the cold calling, then the video audit, then the follow-up, then the presentation. It's likely that you don't have any of these things properly set in place, right? You might have one or the other. Maybe you know how to do the video audit and cold calling, but you might not be talking to the right people. And what happens is that by not having even one of these things set up properly, the whole chain breaks, right? Try to understand this. This video might be a little longer than the other ones I want to do, but this is important because I'm picking up a lot of fear from you guys, and I want to I want to get you guys to understand this, right? Like, I don't want to put sugar on top of the shit and just call it like, yeah, guys, it's gonna be easy and stuff like that, right? And just kind of like whatever. This is how it is. It's a 5-step thing that happens, and every single part of the thing, like you have to be like on point, right? If you're talking to the wrong people, you can be cold calling since you're blue in the face, and it won't work. And even if it does work, you're gonna price it at $300, $500 a month. They're not gonna respect you. They're gonna be the worst clients. You're gonna drop the ball right from the beginning. So pillar 1, okay? You're talking to the right people. Now, when you're talking to the right people, it changes the entire game, right? You're having to do a much less amounts of phone calls to get the decent amount of traction. In a day, even when you're doing it part-time, meaning a couple hours a day of calling, you should be able to get 4 to 5 solid people every single day that you do this that is interested to hear more about the service. Think about that. This is not like if that sounds to you, like if you're hearing that stat and it sounds to you like no, that's not possible. Like a couple hours a day of doing this, like gonna get at least 4. It's a guarantee, right? Like I can't wait until I'm challenged on these things, because I'll do it live in the course, right? Because that's how fun this is gonna be. So I can really break down all the barriers anybody has. And I mean, I'm not even talking about rocket science here. Like if you guys, anybody took the time and dedicated half a day, you'd find this answer, right? As long as you're doing it decently, properly, and not like speaking in gibberish or some shit. So, okay, going back to that thought. Now we have 2 pillars down. You're talking to the right people, and people are getting interested. That's good. Now, how are you gonna excite them to give you an hour of their time, right? That's gonna be the next part with the video audit. Again, some of you will want to replace that. Oh my God, that's too much work, whatever. Hey, by all means, if it works for you, great. But this is what I'm gonna show you. This works really well. I can show you undoubted evidence, probably hundreds at this point, of people directly complimenting about the video audit. So when it comes to excitement, that's what we're gonna show and what we're gonna go by. 3rd pillar. 4th pillar, follow up. Once you have enough volume coming in from all these 3 pillars, if you don't have a follow-up system in place, you're just going to leave money on the table, right? And then lastly, a killer presentation. So I know this is like this video is supposed to be about the cold calling, but I just want to give you a full idea of where this sits. Going back to the original point, whenever you have tried it last time, cold calling, it's likely that not only you didn't have 4 of these other pillars set down, it's likely that you didn't have any one of them properly set. And you were getting your data and all that fear from just one set, just randomly cold calling people who have no chance. Basically, you're not doing the 80-20 of any one of the pillars. You're in the mix, loss in all of this, and just trying to make it all work just with the phone. That's not how it happens. Every part of the sequence has to be on point for you to predictably bring in clients. All right? So, yeah, guys, what is it? 8 minutes? That's pretty much it. What I want to say, guys, like, try to understand that concept, because this is really important. And when it comes to, cold calls, the other side, the last part I was just going to say is that once you start getting even decent at these pillars, like you start actually getting decent, you feel confident throughout your process that you built, it's not that fearful. It actually becomes fun, right? Like, mark my words that I'm saying this, like, fun. That is the word I would put on cold calling, on sales as a whole, right? It's my favorite part of running the entire agency. And yeah, the last thing I was gonna say is, when it comes to actually the cold calling part, once you have these other pillars set down and down to the ratios, like how many calls you need to do per day, per week to get a certain amount of traction, certain amount of people who are interested, what is the ratio of those people who are actually going to turn into appointments and are going to give you time of their day? And you know this mathematically, right? Like by a range, because you've done it over and over again, and you know that range really well. Like, if you guys seen me, like how many times I went and even question myself. Like even after I did it 2-3 times of like having good waves of sales, I used to still question myself until it just happened over and over again to the point where I'm just like, okay, every time I step in the field, money just comes in. That's just the way it is. It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen after, you know, like few waves. It happened after multiples of waves of sales. So I can, like, I'm telling you this from experience, as much as that sentence can stand for. And yeah, guys. So, have any questions? Put in the comments. Any other concerns you guys have, you know, feel free to click the link below, book a call with me, guys. I've been talking to a lot of you guys, and it's honestly been really fun. Like it's supposed to be a 15-minute call, but some of these are going like 30-45 minutes. I just go on a rant, and it's just really becoming exciting for me because this is stuff that I can speak all day, right? Well, physically maybe not at this point, but from an interest level, it's really fun for me to get on this call. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna end the video right here. Hopefully this helped you guys in some way and gets at least some kind of perspective where I'm coming from, because both of those concepts are very powerful, right? You don't have other pillars set properly, so you didn't even have a proper system in place, and you're just blaming it all on cold calling. And the other part of it is, once you are able to know your numbers and you know like, oh, I'm this many number of dials away from getting my next client, it changes everything. It just changes everything. All right, so that's that. Peace.